Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Well, I've come on here live because I really want to discuss the videos that I've been talking about this week. There's been some exciting times happening with gold and silver, for example. And today's video, I really want to talk about, is the currency, is it dying? You know, is the US dollar, is it dying? And this is why gold and silver is so, gold and silver has always been a precious thing anyway, and it's not just something that is a pet rock. It is literally something that is valuable that we use in our daily lives. So today's video, I really wanted to talk about this urgent update for today, that gold is climbing fast, as we know, and I just want to keep the momentum going because I want us to be aware of it, because all of the other organizations, the government organizations, the billionaires, the millionaires, for example, the family officers, the Federal Reserves, the central banks, everybody's aware about what gold and silver has and can offer to us all, for example. And also there's stock in mining as well that we're really not thinking about. And I know there's a lot of people wobbly, sitting on the fence type of thing, but this is why I'm talking so much about this, because we need to think about building and growing our wealth so that we've got our safety net, our safe haven. Otherwise we're in the mercy of the outside elements, for example. But here's something that the mainstream won't tell you. Since 1933, the FDR and the bankers defaulted. So gold has skyrocketed by an incredible, 15,714%, whilst paper, dollar, it's lost over 99% of its value. Now, yes, you heard me right, and I'm shocked by it as well. The dollar has gone down over 99%, whereas with gold has gone over 15,000%. So why? This is why smart investors are moving right now. They're moving fast right now. That's why you'll see people talking about, sold out, because the big organizations are saying, hey, look, I want my gold back. Send me my gold back. And it's in another country, and they're having to look to get it elsewhere to supply where the person actually brought the gold from, for example. So it's like a swap around kind of game here. So this is why the mining industry needs to really be able to supply the demand. And yes, silver will always and gold will always be around, because we can recycle it, just like how I did scrap gold silver business, for example. An idea, for example, to do that. But imagine that the mines globally, currently at the moment, in 20 years time, the silver, for example, is going to run out because it cannot meet the demand of how silver is being used. It's being used more than what gold is being used, for example, i.e. solar panels, i.e. electric vehicles, i.e. AI, i.e. robots. The list is tech. For example, the list is quite long, that why we use silver, for example. Now, we've got to really be looking at what we can do in order to secure our future, for example. So I want you to stay with me to the end, because in this video I'm going to talk to you about how you can position yourself properly, whether you're looking at gold or silver or scrap gold or even the mining stocks. So grab your coffee and let's go for this. I've got my tea right here. Cheers. And I'm going to go into this with you. So the news is that gold today has reached $3,236, for example, which is an incredible momentum. Silver is still at, 332, for example. And I'll just check this whilst I'm here online with you, because you never know. Things could change in a minute. So let me just check. And I'm just going to give you the, yes, so it's 32.24, so $32.24 silver is. It's holding its own. The highest price is $32.34, for example. Silver is doing $3,236, for example. Now, I'll put the link here so that you can see it for yourself and keep track of that on a daily basis, for example. Now, like I said, gold is going up incredibly, and silver is at the $32, for example. And they're both in the raising green in the charts, for example. Yesterday I talked about, as well as today, I talked about Michael Oliver, the trusted market analysis. There's other trusted market analysis, but I'm just talking about Michael Oliver. I will be talking about other analysis as well, that they are predicting that silver will reach $50 very soon. But it's not just a prediction, it's an historical pattern repeating itself. We always hear that story, don't we? It's like history repeating itself. How many times have you heard, oh, fashion's come back, oh, we used to wear that years ago. So you know that things keep repeating itself, for example. Same with the recession, it keeps coming back. It repeats itself. So with regards to this, remember that 1933, that the gold was up over 15,000%. And the dollar was down, and it is down even now. So what does that really tell you? What does it tell us? That every time government prints too much money or lose control of debt, gold and silver become the safe haven. Paper money loses its value. It's always, and always will be that way. So today feels like history repeating itself. And listen, I've been through quite a few decades, for example, to know that I've seen it repeating itself. I would say I'm probably on the fourth section of my lifespan of seeing this history repeating itself. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. It's taken me quite a while to really get to grips with it, because sometimes when you see something the first time, you don't really pay much attention because you're young, you're not really paying attention. Then it happens the second time, you're kind of still a bit young and you're still thinking, I don't know what that was about, but let's move forward. And then when it gets to the third time, you're like, oh, hang on a minute, what's happening here? So now it's coming to this in 2025. You know that this is something serious that we need to look at and to really pay attention to with what's happening globally as well as in our own countries, for example. Now, I'll continue on. A business coach for like 35 years now. I've worked for law firms, for example. I did wills, trust, lasting power of attorneys. I got my qualification to be a will writer. I specialize in healthcare because I've been in healthcare for over 35 years. For example, I've been a business coach for over 10 years, for example. But in 2007, I was doing, with my husband, who's now passed away, we was doing scrap gold parties in 2007. We would get people to host a party, and then we would go to their house, the host, and then people would bring their junk jewelry, for example. They would bring their junk jewelry, they would bring their gold, their silver, for example. We would weigh them, we would look at what the spot price was and what the good thing is with this, with the scrap gold, the old jewelry, broken jewelry. It was broken earrings, it would be a broken chain, it would be an ear bag, you know, every little thing someone would bring that would add to something which was no good to them, for example. So we would offer below the spot price. So the spot price would be for example, a certain figure, then we would look at, right, okay, we'll offer you 30% of that, because we've got to sift through things, we've got to take them to the refineries, that takes time, and all of these things, for example. So that was a bit about that's some of my personal stories. So we was holding these parties. So by the second month, for example, we were then able to go to London to the refineries. We took our scrap gold and